That's it. Stop filming this pornographic stuff. It's messed up. Come up with something. Tape it. Don't you have anything? Some binding wire? This is just ridiculous. I can see it. Amazing. Thank you so much. Hello, my name is Dmitry. Welcome to the Deep Labs channel. Today, our second video will be about our modern heat pump factory in Dobrograd. You'll see exactly what has changed here since the last time. There's been a lot of progress. Well, folks, the time for launch is quickly approaching, so to speak. A lot has changed here, so let's go take a quick look at what's changed in the workshop. A brand new CO2 laser cutter has appeared. We'll be using it to cut insulation. We'll be cutting insulation for the heat exchanger with the CO2 cutter. It's very convenient to cut out the pieces and then you glue them together. Everything turns out nice and neat for us. And then you glue it together with Caflex glue. So the cutting has started. Of course, you need to install some serious ventilation. By the way, I think we can crank up the speed a bit more. We'll hang an exhaust hood above and there'll be an extractor below. It'll be fine. So did you finish cutting? Hey, can you try setting the speed 5 times higher on a small piece? I'm pretty sure it'll just slice right through. 300.
That's in fact the machine's movement speed.
Yeah, you need to set the movement speed 5 or even 10 times higher. And crank the power up 3 times higher. It'll really go to town. How much did it cost?
28,000 yuan, about 300. I
just don't get how they managed to make anything at all for 300,000 rubles. You need to lower the power by about 50%. So, is it cutting through? Of course it's cutting through, or not? It's not cutting all the way through. Oh, wait, it is cutting through. Either it's melting.
How to carefully and gently apply it with the laser's skin.
Maybe. Well, listen, so... is it punching through? No? Then somewhere... And what was its speed before this? And you set it to 400, right?
We
also tried cutting this, and what did it cut? This one...
cuts.
This fabric.
It cuts it.
Good, listen.
We're gonna make a compressor out of it, right?
Yeah, otherwise it just burns out, you know. Where exactly is it sold? From the Chinese guys too?
It doesn't cut through multiple layers.
For manual soldering, if needed, here's another inductor installed for your convenience. If you need to solder manually, you can use a 35 kilowatt one. It is powerful enough to solder a bunch of copper pipes at once. Why so many pipes, you might ask? Well, here, it's for evacuating freon. Yes, for supplying 2 types of freon, R40 and R32, both for pre-vacuum pumping and for deep vacuum operations. Basically, everything for everything. Everything can be filled from here, and everything will be controlled automatically, without manual intervention. Here, specifically for the Neo KR, there are powerful high-capacity pumps installed for both the glycol section and the water section. A massive freon manifold. Look, all these freon circuits go into a separate building. You can take a look from underneath here. All the large diameter pipelines are made from black steel, welded together. I'm not sure, did you use TIG welding? Yes, everything was TIG welded. Of course, it takes a long time, but it looks great. It's done with care, and the quality is excellent. For the small diameter pipes used for air and water, they used compression fittings. The pipes are stainless steel. These fittings are Chinese, but there are also Voltec ones. Very convenient. I like them. There will be a climate chamber here. Here you can cool or heat things. There are more chambers like this here. So, both production and research will take place here. Here we simply combine both the geoloops and heat recovery. From everything...
Maximum 33. I specifically wanted to have cascading here.
And we found it, and this is right here, actually. Right here.
Right now here.
What is this, a pump like that?
These are Chinese ones, which are actually super powerful and a really great alternative, yes, to that dB. But the thing is, they cost literally 5 times less.
It also has a pressure sensor and even a flow sensor.
Here you can adjust the speed, set the revolutions, and here to go back.
Well, you can set the revolutions, but as for the valve, I read that the Chinese removed it too.
Filling valve, an essential component in the system. Yeah.
I see. Water is truly a marvel of Chinese engineering. The installation is certainly very impressive, and it works. It works pretty well, actually. Your script moves it so that it's always running, ensuring it keeps operating continuously. It starts heating up, and as you can see, heating for soldering copper actually requires quite a lot of power. In this case, it's 35 kilowatts, and this one is being used for, let's say, a steel part. Over there, it's being soldered, and everything looks really nice and perfect. Wow, that looks great. It looks amazing. Are you kidding? Wow. Oh, and the soldering quality turns out excellent.
It simply moves itself because
When done by hand, and here there will be nitrogen blowing, but when people do it by hand, well, the quality really suffers. Gas consumption and so on. It's very convenient for the inductors, but copper has high thermal conductivity, so sometimes it doesn't get fully soldered. I think it still needs to be done from a different angle. See, it heats up a lot upwards. Well, at least the angle will be smaller. Well, lower it all the way down. How much travel does it have?
that's the limit. Well, then that's it. So it turns out
Only from the side. Well, it'll still be better. Can't you move the cart closer or something?
you can turn the card over or set it aside. We made it intentionally.
Like this. Will it reach? It's not far. We
Specifically made it so it could rotate and stand at 90 degrees where it can't reach. Here are different options. So it soldered something. I twisted and went on,
And how do you want it from below? It won't work from below. It's just like with your feet, right?
which
Here's another shock. Only here the pipe is heating up. I lay down and see how much this platform costs.
no.
No. By the way, it doesn't kill people.
Kill all people. Kill all people.
I have to kill all people. Let's test this plan out on Vlad first. He'll just roll by for now, but the burnt part, unfortunately, can't be cut out, so you'll have to step back for a moment. So it's really quite powerful, and it can easily lift 1.5 tons. It can even drive right under a car, which is honestly pretty cool. You can even sit comfortably in the bucket, and it'll go along with you. But not kids, otherwise social services will see and take away everyone's parental rights. The casings for these, oh lord, for air conditioners have been ordered from our Uzbek friends in Uzbekistan. All of theirs are coated in polymer paint, powder coated. One casing there costs about $50. I don't know how they managed to hit that price. It's a real alternative to China. I really like it. Here are all sorts of different casings on display, each with unique characteristics, and some of them are from the Uzbeks. So basically, it was more cost-effective for us to get the outdoor units for air conditioners from them, because part of it involves stamping and so on. For heat pumps, specifically for these water-to-water and air-to-water systems, we actually make them right here in Kovrov. Yeah. Well, the quality is, I would say, quite decent overall. Here, we have the casing parts. Here are compressors specifically designed for start-stop systems with power ratings of up to 30 kilowatts, which should be more than enough for the time being, and Mitsubishi rotary compressors with dual rotor BLDC motors. There are plenty of those options as well. The price is reasonable, and many people use them. We're going to make them. There's a lot here. And all sorts of TRVs, RVs, and so on. There's a lot of stuff here. Right now, all of this is being received and inventoried. We're going to assemble it. And these are compressors for R134 refrigerant, basically. Those are also for high-temperature heat pumps. We're going to make those too. And all sorts of little odds and ends. Here we already have compressor units coming in. And these are domestic ones, specifically something we assembled ourselves as a test. And this, gentlemen, is a test stand that we constructed for the purpose of testing the controller. Here you can use potentiometers to set and adjust the temperature, pump speeds, and so on. This is for testing the controller. Here is our main control unit right here.
You're sitting in for me.
Here is our controller itself. This is its primary main unit. And this is the relay block. For different heat pumps, you can assemble different configurations. That's how it is. We test everything, run it through its paces. Sometimes there are difficulties, but overall it's fine. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, there's still a lot of work left to do here, but I think by the end of the summer we'll be up and running. There's just a little bit left, so to speak. A tremendous amount of work has already been done because we actually only started all this a year ago, and we've already accomplished so much. And all of this is being done with our own money. In other words, we don't have any outside investment. Subscribe to the channel and give us a like. All the best. Bye.